The beauty of being alone. There was a man named Ethan. He was 32 years old and lived in a small apartment in the city. Every morning he made coffee and looked out the window. He saw people walking fast, talking, laughing, and living their busy lives. Ethan watched them and often thought, they all have someone. And I'm here, alone. At first it didn't bother him much. He liked peace and quiet. But as time went by, the silence started to feel heavy. When he came home after work, the rooms were empty. There was no sound, no warmth, no one waiting for him. He tried to fill the silence with music and TV, but when everything stopped, the quiet returned. It was deep and cold, like an ocean. He wondered if something was wrong with him. His friends were busy, getting married, raising kids, traveling. On social media, he saw photos of smiles, dinners, and vacations. Ethan liked their happiness, but deep inside, he felt a small pain. He thought, why is my life so different? Why am I always alone? One Sunday morning, he went for a walk. The air was cool and the sky was soft grey. He didn't know where he was going. He just walked. After a while, he reached a park. The trees were golden and the ground was full of fallen leaves. He sat on a wooden bench and closed his eyes. For a long time, he didn't think about anything. He just listened. The wind, the birds, the laughter of children somewhere far away. Then something strange happened. He felt peaceful, not happy, but calm, like a quiet sea. He opened his eyes and looked around. Everything was the same, but he felt different. He realized that being alone didn't mean being broken. It simply meant being with himself. That night, Ethan didn't turn on the TV. He made tea and sat by the window, watching the rain. For the first time, the silence felt soft. He whispered, maybe being alone isn't so bad. From that day, he started doing little things for himself. He cooked new recipes, read books, and went for long walks after work. He even bought an old guitar and tried to learn to play. At first, it felt strange to do things alone. He used to believe that happiness only existed with other people. But now he began to see beauty in small moments. A cup of hot coffee, the smell of rain, the sound of music late at night. He began writing in a small notebook. He wrote about his days, his thoughts, and his feelings. One evening he wrote, loneliness is not a punishment. It's a chance to meet yourself. Weeks turned into months. Ethan stopped fighting loneliness. When he accepted it, it stopped hurting him. He understood that loneliness could be a teacher, not an enemy. He learned to listen to his thoughts and take care of his heart. He learned that peace doesn't come from other people. It comes from within. One afternoon, in the same park, he met an old man feeding birds. They started talking. The man said he had lived alone for years and wasn't sad about it. The old man smiled and said, when you learn to be happy alone, you will never be lonely again. Those words stayed in Ethan's mind for a long time. After that day, he stopped searching for people to fill his silence. He started filling it with meaning. He painted, wrote stories, and walked in nature. His life was simple but full of peace. Sometimes friends visited and asked, don't you feel lonely? Ethan smiled and said, not anymore. I found peace in my own company. He understood that being alone had helped him grow. It made him stronger, wiser, and more grateful. He finally saw himself clearly, without noise, without pressure, without fear. One evening he looked around his small apartment. It was quiet, just like before, but this time the quiet didn't feel empty. It felt alive. The light from the lamp was warm, and the soft music filled the air. Ethan took his notebook and wrote, "Being alone doesn't mean being lost. It means being free to find who you are." He smiled and closed his eyes. He thought about his past, all the nights he felt sad, all the times he wanted someone to fix his emptiness. Now he understood the truth. No one can fix your emptiness for you. You have to fill it yourself, with kindness, with patience, with love for who you are. As the rain began to fall outside, Ethan whispered, "Thank you, loneliness. You helped me find myself." He felt a gentle peace inside his chest, not loud, not bright, but real. And maybe that's what true happiness is, not in crowds, not in noise, but in the quiet joy of being at peace with yourself. Message to the reader. If you ever feel lonely, remember Ethan's story. There is nothing wrong with being alone. Sometimes you need to be alone to understand yourself, to grow, and to heal. Silence isn't empty. It's full of answers. And when you learn to love your own company, you'll realize you are never truly alone. Because the most important person you will ever meet is you.